In this video, what happened when the superhero comics giant Marvel Comics published Hanna Barbera's Scooby Doo, Yogi Bear, and the Flintstones?
Let's go back in time to 1977 when Stan Lee's House of Ideas, Marvel Comics took over publishing Hanna Barbera's cartoon cast of characters and comic books. It was a great companion piece to the new series Laff-A-Lympics. It introduced 70s kids to 60s Hanna Barbera greats, as well as giving us 70s characters in full-color comics. Back then, if you loved cartoons, you couldn't just go to YouTube or even a 24-hour cartoon channel. You had to wait until Saturday mornings for the most part to see the bulk of your favorite shows. Most of us only had 3 channels to choose from in the 1970s, so getting another chance to see your favorites was a big deal. Marvel only kept the Hanna-Barbera license for a couple of years, but in that time they published some very interesting quality comics, putting their own unique Marvel spin on it. In Hanna-Barbera Spotlight number 1, Jellystone Park completely disappears, leaving Yogi Bear and Huckleberry Hound to solve a bizarre sci-fi mystery. It was like something out of the Outer Limits. It wasn't the kind of story you might normally find in the Yogi Bear comic. It had aliens and shrink rays and had a Twilight Zone-like story that is still worth reading today. The longest lasting comic series was Laff-A-Lympics, but it only lasted 13 issues. He basically threw together almost all of Hanna-Barbera's characters into one series. Scooby Doo got 9 issues, all of which are highly sought after today, and these comics are a bit on the rare side and hard to find. The Flintstones got 9 issues. Dynamite the Dog Wonder only got 6 issues, but its superhero element was a perfect fit for Marvel. Hanna-Barbera Spotlight and very similar series, TV Stars, both ran for only 4 issues, rotating characters. They were probably testing to see if they could get a big winner for a series. One Spotlight issue featured the Jetsons, and it was the only issue that Marvel has ever done dedicated to the future family. In TV Stars, we got to see stories dedicated to Captain Caveman, Dino Mutt, the Herculoids, and even Space Ghost with art by Alex Toth. Each Marvel issue had one page entitled The Funtastic World of Hanna-Barbera that featured a lot of fun behind-the-scenes stuff and basic facts about Hanna-Barbera's characters. Mark Evanier, who wrote most of these stories for Marvel, was working as a writer for Hanna-Barbera cartoons at the time. His involvement was important to help Marvel present the characters within the boundaries set by Hanna-Barbera and still deliver interesting stories. He went on to write for such cartoon shows as Scooby Doo and Scrappy-Doo, the Plastic Man Comedy Adventure Show, Dundar the Barbarian, Richie Rich, Garfield, and Dungeons and Dragons. These comics, as fun as they were, just didn't sell enough, and Marvel didn't renew their license after 1979. Marvel was actually losing money printing these comics. They were of much higher quality than the previous Hanna-Barbera line that Charlton Comics had printed. The biggest problem was that any unsold comics were returned back to Marvel, leaving Marvel with the cost of printing unsold issues. The deck was pretty much stacked against these comics from the beginning. That being said, today, if you want to get a Laff-A-Lympics number 1 graded at 9.8, it's going to cost you almost $500. A raw, ungraded, but very fine copy probably will cost you about $60. Marvel Scooby Doo number 1 runs between $670 and $900 for a professionally graded 9.8, which is, of course, basically a flawless copy. A good luck finding one of those and getting it graded at that high of a grade. If you get your hands on one of these comics, it's a great nostalgic trip back into time. They're filled with awesome comic ads for Marvel selling comics, t-shirts, toys, Star Wars, and sometimes I wonder, what would happen if I sent out for one of those old t-shirts? Probably nothing. Still demonetized, as far as I can tell, just for being a cartoon channel, so trying to see what happens if we change our format a little bit, add a little bit more of me.
Here's what I was working on when the channel got hit with the demonetization. And this is just one of the finished scenes. You're going to eat a little bit fat too faster. It's going to cost you.
I was only doing 35 miles an hour.
Sorry, ma'am. The speed limit is 20.
It was 35 yesterday.
Sign says 20, miss.
Are you sure about that?
Of course I'm sure. What do you think I am, a dipstick or something? I just changed this. This morning. That's something. I knew I changed the sign out this morning. Well, as you might imagine, making cartoons takes a lot of time, making it really hard to work on, knowing there is like zero chance of getting paid for all that time and effort. I'm not one to give up completely or that easily, though. For the time being, we'll just focus more on fun facts of cartoons, comics, and that kind of thing, pop culture, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and if you know anybody at YouTube, put in a good word for us. See if we can get remonetized. And thanks, and y'all have a great day.